they're humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too. I'm Bushka on Blitz. Welcome back to the channel. If you didn't know about that already, well, happy days, you do now. I want to talk to you today about a few things, but I do want to talk to you particularly first off about Patreon. I'm going to be doing a Patreon tournament tomorrow. It's going to be a throw it up in the air and see if it flies kind of event. We're going to be doing a 3-on-3 quickfire tournament. It's going to be very fast, loose, and the basis of it is to have fun, right? So that should be a good bit of giggle. If you're around for the live stream, I hope you enjoy that. That'll be a great fun time. But I haven't pushed Patreon for ages. Now, Patreon is the reason that we can have a YouTube channel. Without Patreon, no joke, still, without Patreon, this channel does not exist in its current format and probably just goes away. And we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of giggles. So if you ever have considered joining up and supporting the channel via Patreon, you get access to the Telegram chat, you get access to the Discord channel, you get to play on the streams and have a good old time. And more importantly, it's a place where if you like the channel and you like the content, you get to vote with your feet and actually keep it rocking and rolling. So that's first and foremost. Secondly, I want to show you a few videos here, a few clips from the last week. Now, this was from last week's stream, but the other two clips, there's a T-54 game and a T-62A game, and they're both great. But I got caught very, very flat-footed, unfortunately. I had been playing a lot lately, and I had a whole series planned called My 10 Favorite Tanks, and I was going to start at number 10 and count all the way down to number 1. And I had video footage for about 4 or 5 of those tanks of just me playing, and I was really stoked, and I was going to start editing and cutting that this week. And one of the reasons why you've probably seen not much, and I forgot that there was a patch coming, and I kept intending to record those videos, and I forgot to. So I lost everything, and I'm really gutted. There was a couple of massive, I don't want to tell you what the games were in, because that will kill the surprise of the top 10 favorite tanks, but you know, it's coming. It's coming anyway. And I'm having to rejig all that, and I'm hopeful of getting a few installments of that out before the Christmas holidays set in. And I won't be able to put out a heap of content over the Christmas holidays because obviously I'll be away. We go back to the UK, and it's my first ever Christmas away from Australia, which is going to be pretty daunting. I'm going to have my first ever white Christmas, which is very, very exciting. And I want to get a lot of footage out, a lot of content done before then, but it probably won't get to number 1 on that list. But that's by the by. I'm also going to do a video called The Memes of Blitz. You'll see what that means when you pop it, but a meme is... Anyway, I don't want to spoil the thing, but there is a video coming on that, and it's going to pop on a lot of topics. How about that? Double bounce. IS-7 and FV2 and 5B103, and then he gets, oh, that's got to be a deep and salty wound, that one. This game looked absolutely gone for all ends up, but as soon as I saw that the E5 on my team was a Cats player, I figured he must know what he was doing, so I was just going to farm around the damage traps with him and get the job done. And this is actually a game on stream when everything was going poorly, and then we had a couple of games in a row where everything just went right, which just goes to show that if you play long enough, everything will regress to the mean. Regress to the meme. Oh, what a funny thing to say. Another bounce from the IS-7. Happy McDays. And we have a much better gun than him, so sit down. And then suddenly things are looking doable. And this AMIGOS 5120 is like, what the hell? I was just here and there was a lot of good blokes here and we're going to top end high damage roll. I'm thinking he must be on a reload because he's not being aggressive at all, despite the fact that there's a lot of easy tanks to hit here. And we clear him and then we turn around and we're happy days. So there is a lot of interesting content coming down the pipe, guys. Don't go anywhere. And if you do like the channel, make sure to leave comments and suggestions, because most of the content that I do, I filter through the comment sections, and if I see something that gets mentioned a lot, then I go, let's make a video on it. Anyway, let's have a look at these two fantastic little games. Now, the first game is from Margin Blades. Great name. And the second game is from 57_pixels, I think. And they're in two of my most very favorite tanks. I like these tanks a lot for different reasons. By the way, my favorite tanks list is not going to be just on the strongest tanks in Blitz. I'm going to give my reasons for it, but it's going to have a lot to do with my history with the game, some of the more impactful tanks in Blitz, And I'm going to go right into what makes them interesting vehicles. The thing I do like about this game, and the game after it in particular, is how these Soviet mediums are played exactly as Soviet mediums. Not as pseudo gun depression tanks or, you know, long-range snipers bombing. They are played on the edge of the map. And by that I mean the edge of the front line, but not exposed, not peeking, not sideways. Look where the T-54 is here. This is almost the prototypical Soviet medium style. Look at it, like this. The upper glacis is forming a nearly exact line with that hill there, which is allowing him to really easily have the highest and best possible armor profile he can have while still outputting shots. And that's a skill point that if you can master in Soviet mediums, you can play it through to tier 10 and beyond. Like Type 59s, T-62As, Object 140s, T-54s, T-44s, T-44 the WZ-121s and the 121Bs, and they're all the same style of tank. They all have this beautiful upper glacis that's very, very low slung to the ground, and if you keep angling it, you can get some big bounces. Now that WZ-120 there, obviously the angles were incorrect there, so you can see him moving around that corner, and he gets the wrong angle, so it's like turn and turn around. And our Amigo here, you're going to have to, please, I apologise for the pauses in the video. It was unfortunate that I lost all my footage, so I wanted to go back and reshoot these, but it was an old patch video, so I couldn't redo it. And then, anyway, long story short, make sure you remember to, to record all your video before patch day. Good choices here. Goes to the RU-251 rather than chasing the damage down there, and leaves that WZ who left his flank wide open, and the RU got flogged because of it. And there's that lack of gun depression. If you want to get down into that, then you are going to have to rock and roll. Little love tap in the arse to stop any more firing from the bad boys there. And things are actually looking pretty grim. There is a lot of depth on the other team. That is a crazy good snapshot on a VK100.01p. They do not come off very often at all. He's into the cap circle and through the cap circle looking for a kill on the IS-8. That doesn't go through because, you know, IS-8s, whatever, they're just pretty much ridiculous. This one does, however, and it's down to 2 on 3. There is that 100.01p. It is such a bastard of a tank towards the end of the game. Everyone just kind of leaves it alone to deal with at the end because it's just, there's easier targets. And then you get to the end of the game and it's got this big ass chunk of hit points and a big ass armor profile, and you're like, oh, great. So we've got to get through VK100.01p, an E75, and an ISU-152. The cap's counting down and it's all looking very, very rough. Now that was a nice bounce, and that was premium from the E75 as well. Doesn't have a lot of choices here. Gets a clutch bounce from the ISU-152 for 640 there. Sneaks around the corner, another big bounce. Gonna hammer the lower glacis of the VK100. That 152 did the right thing, but he went just a little bit too aggressive. But here you can see rubs off our Amigo on the rock, which is rough all round, and then just going to basically get screwed here by the cap circle. There's no way around it. There's now one in the pipe for that 152. The 75 is just waiting. He's got no choices. He comes out and margin blade goes down, but 6,119 damage and a whole lot of good love going on there. We move on now to the T-62A. Now this is my favorite game for the week. I really, really enjoyed this one. I'll tell you why. This is not really... Look, the standard medium form on this map is very much either low or middle. That's fine. But what I really like about this map, from this one in particular, is he uses the entire width of the field. 57 pixels, gets this thing motoring all over creation. It does not just stay in one stock farm position. He moves with the map, and it's a really odd layout. You can see there's 3 below to the north on the map. There's 3 down from the south, and there's 1 just somewhere generally muddling around in the middle of it. Oh, hello. Excellent stuff. Now, this 268 starts pushing up, and this is where, you know, great plans are great, but as soon as things start happening, and they just go and fracture and go all over the place, then you got to move and shake and make a little bit of love regardless. Now, does the right thing here, gets a nice high roll, 351 for a 310 Alpha gun, and gets rolling out of town, but sees the T-110E4, says, negative, don't go there, buddy. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And keeps on rolling, and even says to the E4, run. You got to get out of there. You got to get out, mate. E4, not much chance. And then he is straight back through into the back area of these three guys over here. Isolates the E75. Absolutely smashes the E75, and then starts hammering damage into the Object 704. Now that move there was pretty much the handbook for Soviet medium driving. The mobility, the DPM, the low sun camouflage, and deadly intent that comes with driving a 62A or a 140 well. And he got in behind that tank as well. Didn't put himself in harm's way. Look at this. Wants to side hug. Wants to side hug and cause problems for the E100. And this is a good driver. Look at him trying to stop the E100 from moving forward and getting the kill on his teammate, making him absolutely work for every single scrap of damage he puts out. And because of that, that IS-8 manages to get through that engagement with a few hit points left, which means that that shot from the 268 has to go into the IS-8 to clear it, and gives our Amigo here a little bit of an edge to get another shot in the 268 and actually just, you know, advance the cause a touch, which ends up being pretty bloody important. There's only 2 of them left. There's 4 of those bad red boys. And this 268 could have just cruised around that corner and put that first shot into the 62A. Tries to angle up on the edge of this. That's good angling. Angling, jiggling, wiggling with that big German gun. Never going to be fun. Smashing another one in the lower glacis, and that's a much harder shot than you think. And he's around in the VK. Can't get the angle. The VK doesn't want to give it to him. So he just basically waits back here, takes one, and will now clear the VK on this shot. So that's been some remarkably good tanking. And his reward for all that is the opportunity to go 2-on-1 with an M48A1 Patton and an Object 268. Now, he does the right thing there. I know that sounds a bit crazy, but that made the Patton a one-shot. It was a good trade to make, because if you can actually get behind the 268, it won't matter how many hit points the 268 has. So he's turned this into an opportunity for a clear on the Patton. Even if he takes another shot, he's still got a chance to get behind that 268 and completely clear him without taking any damage at all. So the key here is nothing to do with that big TD. It's clearing the Patton. He's got to clear the Patton. If he can get rid of that M48A1, then he can start worrying about the 268. And that really is the clutch situation. He's got to do that, and he's got plenty of time left on the board. He's going long around the map, doing a very, very large circle, and he's looking to utilize his camo and his spotting to get a look-see at where the M48 is. There he goes, and isolate it. And once he isolates that M48, then he can start dealing with the other guy. And this is far too aggressive from the M48. He hits a really nuts shot there. That was pretty nuts, rude lolly. That's something I don't know if you guys understand that you can do. When you crest a little bit of a ridge like that, the gun actually tends to dip down. It like literally dips down, and it gives you this fake kind of gun depression. So, you know, take advantage of that. A lot of old timers do. It's the nip forward, tap the button as the gun's kind of all over the place, and it gives you this pretend gun depression that you don't really have. T-62A with 5 degrees of gun depression. And now it's just touchy, feely. And this is exactly what we were talking about. The important part here is not to give the 268 free shots. You can't afford to bleed. You've got to just keep maneuvering around, use the time, try to get an angle, go for a track shot. But if you can't get a track shot, take what's on offer. Every little bit of damage helps. Keep moving. Fire that heat. Turn him into a good trade. If you can turn him into a good trade, you're happy to take a shot. There we go. That is a good trade. He is absolutely in a horrible spot now. And now he can do it. Bust on down. Doesn't even hit the adrenaline yet. What a clutch machine. All the way in. Take the shot. Doesn't even need to. Well done, 57 Pixels. Great game. Hope you guys enjoyed that. As always, like and subscribe. There's a Normandy video coming up as well where I just want to talk generically mostly about the map, because the map is actually really, really cool, but I want to talk about some of the things that it might be hinting at for the game and some of the other stuff. And I'm going to take all the patrons have sent me footage on that, and we're just going to have a look at some good games on there while we have a good old chat about the map itself and game balance and direction. Until next time, look after yourselves and stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.